Hey, how's your day? My name is Renmei. So, I failed to get this video out on time. That is my bad on that. This video was supposed to go up days before Lunar 6 went live. But I was met with some outside factors that sort of slowed down the process a bit. Mainly my laziness, but hey, I have a job, so. This video was supposed to talk about the necessity of the traveler's journey, only for them to end right back in Mondstadt, with Mondstadt being I don't know, almost like the heart of Teyvat in a way. A lot of fans have pointed out that the massive Barbados statue, like in the middle of the cathedral, has the words Gateway to Celestia etched on it, along with the giant Barbados statue in Dorman Port, straight up leading to the Temple of Space. Which kinda makes me question the entire nature of the traveler's journey altogether, right? Because obviously, the journey is much more than just find our sibling. Like, we technically know where our sibling is. She's the leader of the Abyss. But there's more to it than that. We have to travel the world just to even begin to understand the path that our sibling went down on. Just to even begin why our sibling is doing all this to begin with. And only recently do we have access to potentially learn more about the very deity, the very character that kickstarted the whole journey to begin with, Asmodee. Though I get the strong feeling that the traveler only now being able to access the Temple of Space was always a part of the plan in a way. With the traveler being a descender, they're not tied to the fate of Teyvat like everyone else is, but that doesn't mean that any and all factors cannot be controlled. Part of me has always viewed the traveler's journey as a story, one with story beats that must happen in a particular way. And there are measures to ensure this, such as the borders you cannot go past, courtesy of Murder of Birds, but he pointed out that the devs would often put lore into every aspect of the game, whether that be for combat reason or just some other miscellaneous gameplay stuff, such as Meliastra. He theorized that you not being able to travel past certain borders is Asmodee using her authority of space to literally prevent you from moving to certain spaces, with said spaces not becoming accessible after a certain period of time, or when we're at a certain point within the story. And it should be noted that there are watchers that bear a striking resemblance to the twins. It could be that their job is to make sure that either the twins or just the traveler don't go off the beaten path and they follow through the story as intended. This, along with the fact that the traveler has essentially been forced to assimilate to Teyvat the entire time that they've been here. One is because of the search for their twin. Yeah, we were able to find our twin in Leeway, but that's not it. They're going down a path that we don't fully understand ourselves. A path that, in order to understand, we need to finish our journey. We need the context, we need the information about the kind of world Teyvat is to better understand our sibling and their motivations, as well as the fact that they lost their powers, as well as having restrictions placed on them by Asmodee, as stated by Columbina when she lifted some of those restrictions. Their power being sealed away had constituted the need for them to gather the elements of Teyvat. Also, depending on how powerful, skilled, or controlled the traveler was with their original power, it serves them well for their journey and their engagement of said journey to not have this power. Because, well, their wings were taken away, so figuratively, they can't have their heads in the clouds as much as they want to. Along with the fact that the traveler has a guide, Paimon. Paimon leads us to the Animo statue. Albedo in his story quest suggests that Paimon could be guiding the elements to us, which, I mean, she brought us to this statue, so he's not technically entirely wrong. And the fact that Paimon is the one telling us to not explore ahead in areas that we shouldn't be to begin with. This isn't another Paimon is Asmodee theory or Paimon is connected to Asmodee theory. I'm just pointing out the fact that there are so many things that assure that we are on a certain path and that we can't exactly freeform it as much as we want to. Okay, so by now you probably understand the point I'm trying to make, and you're probably asking then, why is Traveler being allowed access to the Temple of Space now? Well, because they've earned the right to know. They've matured so much in not only their understanding for Teyvat, but in the respect they have for their journey, even to the point when Dottore offers to simply just make their sibling appear and force them to give them the answers, they ultimately decline. To borrow the words of Finn from Adventure Time, they put a lot of work into this meet reality. They'd like to see it through. And even in the heart-to-heart they had with Columbina, they admit that they see Teyvat as their home. And after the Traveler says this, is when Columbina lifts some of the Traveler's restrictions. Now, there's no direct correlation, right? Like, Columbina did not lift some of the restrictions as soon as Traveler admitted that they were their home. Like, they had more to say to each other, like before that, right? But I'm pointing it out as rather a point of interest that even with some of their power returning, they are in a position to have a deep enough connection to Teyvat to where if they had their wings, they wouldn't simply fly away. And the Watchers probably know about this. You know, it could be that one of the other restrictions or rules placed on the Traveler was that the Watcher knows everything that the Traveler has done. They know that they're getting closer to their original power, but they're also aware about the commitment and love that they have for Teyvat, and as such, they're being rewarded for that. Because the truth, or anything that can lead closer to the truth, is something that they've battled, cried, but most importantly, earned the right to see for themselves. Okay, that's enough serious lore talking for one video. I'm gonna go edit this nightmare, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Stay marvelous.